Welcome to day 48 of The Seeker's Guide to Soul Contact. The course consists of 365 lessons, bringing you closer to Spirit. The theme for today is I Send Goodwill to All. The seeker who passes through the barriers and contacts the inner loving God must be loving himself. There are three aspects to love, which are goodwill, friendship, and the magnetic power of love. Love is not complete until all three are embraced and practiced. Today's lesson is on goodwill. We seem to live in a world where goodwill is not only lacking, but deteriorating. There is an increasing division between the political left and right, and hatred from both sides is on the increase. To withhold goodwill from a brother or sister because they have different political views is an error in judgment and deed and sends energy that holds the clouds in place between the seeker and his soul. If we want to commune with the inner God, then we must be like God, as Jesus advised. Here's a quote: For he, God, maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have you? For do not even the publicans do the same? And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans do this? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. That's from Matthew 4, verses 45 through 48. God gives out the sunshine and the rain to all, no matter who they voted for. So we must do the same. And if we just show love to those who think the way we do, then we're no better than the crooked politicians in the days of Jesus. For even the worst of us show goodwill to those who accept us. We live in a time where there is hatred, anger, and violence toward others who merely are deemed to have a wrong opinion. Others are trying to limit the freedom to speak anything contrary to accepted mindset. Let he who seeks freedom of the kingdom of the soul not participate. Where others send hate, you send goodwill. Where others are angry, you be at peace. Where others threaten, you remain harmless. In the past, religion seemed to be the central cause of division and hatred, with many subjecting those with out of the mainstream opinions to torture and death. While there is still some intolerance in religion, the main focus of division has shifted to politics. The reason for this is that governments have become a larger influence over our lives than religion. Presently, religion for most is something that occurs in the background of consciousness, whereas many are now consistently focused on what the government is going to do for them. If a person thinks that an opposing view will be a factor in taking away what he wants from government, then he will be tempted to lean toward anger and hate instead of goodwill and love. The seeker must seek to free himself from the outer gods of Caesar, government, and religion, and standing free, he can send forth goodwill to all, for none can interfere with the freedom of the soul. Your assignment today is to think on those with different opinions than yourself and see them as brothers and sisters. Send them positive thoughts of goodwill. Now let us be specific. Pick the people who are furthest from your belief system from this list. For instance, we have President Obama or Trump, say Rush Limbaugh or Nancy Pelosi, Ann Coulter, Rachel Maddow, President Biden, Chuck Schumer. There's all kinds of politicians that people love and hate. You can add to this list if you like, especially if you live outside of the United States. If hate and loathing wells up in you when contemplating some of these people, then it's a sign there is work to do to reach the soul wherein dwells the pure love of Christ. Practice several times during the day, sending goodwill to all, no matter how different they may think from yourself. P.S. Be sure to include that irritating neighbor or family member. End with this affirmation. I am like the sun, radiating warmth in all directions. Easy to say, difficult for many to do. See you tomorrow.